Lao Tzu spoke it in this way. The great Tao flows everywhere to the left and to the right. It loves and nurtures all things, yet does not dominate them. When virtue is achieved, it does not demand it. Therefore, the more you relinquish power, trust others, the stronger you become. But, instead of having to wake up at night, controlling everything, you do this beautifully, by entrusting tasks to others, and they continue to perform for you.
The way to become one with the universe is to trust it, as you would trust something else. You say, let's see what you will do. But when you do that, you realize that when you say the same to everything else, you've been taught to think that you're not speaking to yourself, because ultimately, as I pointed out, you don't know where your decisions come from. So when we make decisions, we're always worried. Have I thought about this long enough? Have I examined enough data? And if you think deeply, you'll see that you can never examine enough data. The data for a decision in any particular situation is infinite. So what you do is go through the steps of thinking about what you will do about this matter. And when it's time to act, you make decisions quickly. I mean this in an extreme and playful sense. Ultimately, we sometimes realize the vague boundaries of things and make sound decisions based on reasonable grounds. But luckily, we forget about these variants that may interfere and make this decision correct. It's truly amazing when it often works. But warriors, think about all the uncontrollable variants and what could happen. So when you make a decision and it succeeds, I think very little of it is related to your intention and control. But in some way, you can make decisions and control things more harmoniously if you delegate power. That's why great businessmen often delegate power, trust others to work for them, because they're developing businesses on that basic structure. The opportunity to delegate power. It loves and nurtures everything without suppressing them. And you see that what's happening is the more you let it go and trust it as if it's completely separate from you, the more you realize the inseparability between yourself and others. To return, if you try to find the unity between oneself and others by treating others as if under the control of oneself, it cannot be accomplished. On the contrary, if you find this through transferring oneself, meaning control, to others, and trust that you may make mistakes, you may place wrong bets, but in the long run, you're acting based on a principle supported by evolution. This is how biological evolution happens, a continuous delegation of power. That's why clearly democracy surpasses autocracy, Tocqueville said. That democracy is always right, but for the wrong reasons, because in a democratic regime, the principle of compatibility is at work. Compatibility is the intelligence of a complex system. Its essence is always unknown to individual members, which brings us back to this point. We always assimilate with a new environment. We never fully know what a new environment is, because the only environments we know are past environments. Therefore, in the development of cellular life at any level, a new, more highly organized way always emerges higher than any existing reform, and we don't recognize it until after it has happened. So we truly break free from this way of thinking to something that I will say has extremely creative and significant societal outcomes, a revolution even. It has become the most challenging political reality to let go of controlling others, to let go of trying to occupy the landscape, which in parallel at this moment in our history has become the most challenging political reality, to learn how to appreciate oneself, you can say. To those who follow their Protestant faith, those who oppose that kind of faith, and now tell them, with great seriousness. It is your sacred mission to learn how to appreciate oneself. Why? Because in an age of entertainment, people truly need to know how to appreciate themselves. Because if they don't know how to do that, they will destroy the future of humanity.